Lisbon used to be the digital nomad dream. Cheap rent, great weather, incredible food, and a flat 20% tax rate on your foreign income. But here's the thing, that Lisbon doesn't really exist anymore. In 2026, Lisbon has become what I'd call a tier 1 European hub. It's matured, and with that maturity comes a completely different calculation for anyone thinking about relocating there. So let's break down the real numbers, the hidden costs, and who Lisbon actually makes sense for now. Let's start with housing, because this is where most people's expectations get shattered. If you want a renovated two-bedroom apartment in a desirable neighborhood, somewhere like Príncipe Real or Avenidas Novas, you're looking at around 2,500 euros a month. That's about $2,700. Now, compared to $5,600 in San Francisco or $8,500 in Manhattan, that's still a massive savings. But this isn't the 800 euro apartment your friend found in 2019. The vacancy rate in Lisbon is around 3%. That's extremely tight. And landlords know they have leverage. Expect to pay 3 to 6 months rent upfront if you don't have a Portuguese guarantor. There's also something called the quality premium. Most of Lisbon's buildings are old. If you want air conditioning, an elevator, and modern appliances, things that are standard in the US, you'll pay 30 to 50% more than the unimproved unit next door. Okay, so housing is expensive, but still cheaper than major US cities. What about actually getting in? This is where things have changed dramatically. The D8 Digital Nomad Visa now requires you to earn at least 4 times the Portuguese minimum wage. That's about 3,500 euros a month, or 42,000 euros a year. If you have a spouse, add 50%. Each kid adds another 30%. A family of 4 needs to show nearly 90,000 euros in annual income. But here's the bigger deal. The famous NHR tax regime, the one that gave you a flat 20% rate for 10 years, is essentially dead for most people. The replacement program, called IFICI, is only for specific high-value roles: scientific researchers, academics, certified R&D positions. If you're a remote marketing manager or a freelance designer, you're not qualifying. That means you'd be on standard Portuguese tax rates, which can hit 48% for incomes over 80,000 euros. For high earners, the tax burden in Lisbon might now actually exceed what you'd pay in Texas or Florida. Now, beyond rent and taxes, there are 2 hidden costs that catch a lot of families off guard. First, healthcare. The public system is in crisis. Over 1.5 million residents don't even have an assigned family doctor. Emergency room waits can exceed 10 hours. As a new expat, getting into the public system is essentially impossible in Lisbon right now. You will need private insurance. For a family of 4, budget 250 to 400 euros per month. The good news, private healthcare in Portugal is excellent. You'll get appointments within days, and English is widely spoken. Second, international schools. If you have kids, you're looking at 11,000 to 24,000 euros per year, per child, depending on grade level, plus enrollment fees of 2,500 to 5,000 euros, and the wait lists at top schools are brutal. Apply a full year in advance. So we've covered the financial side. But there's something else I want to address, something that doesn't show up in cost of living calculators. There's real tension now between the expat community and locals. When digital nomads earning 3,000 euros or more compete for apartments with locals earning under 1,000 euros, you get displacement. You get graffiti targeting nomads in neighborhoods like Grazza. You get regular protests about housing and touristification. This doesn't mean you shouldn't go, but it does mean the hidden gem vibe is gone. You're entering a mature market with real social dynamics to navigate. All right, so given everything we've covered, the housing costs, the visa requirements, the dead tax incentives, the healthcare situation, and the social tension, who does Lisbon actually make sense for in 2026? Here's my take. It's no longer about cheap living. It's about quality of life per euro. A 4,000 euro monthly budget in Lisbon gets you a lifestyle, dining out regularly, private healthcare, maybe even some domestic help, weekend trips around Europe that would cost you $15,000 or more in New York. The arbitrage isn't about being cheap anymore. It's about getting outsized value for your money while living in one of Europe's most beautiful cities. But you need to come in with eyes open. The tax benefits are largely gone, the healthcare system requires private coverage, schools will cost you, and integration takes real effort. If you're a high-earning professional from a major US city who values culture, weather, and quality of life over pure tax optimization, and you're willing to learn Portuguese and actually integrate, Lisbon can still be an incredible choice. If you're looking for a cheap escape with easy tax loopholes, that window closed. If you found this helpful, drop a comment with any questions about specific aspects of relocating. And if you want the full research report with all the data sources, I'll link that in the description. See you in the next one.